in the mountains. We might not be in the mountains for long though. Today the national parks have opened again. Well, I think they actually opened yesterday, but they didn't really make much noise about it, which I understand with the current situation, trying to avoid everywhere being so busy. You've seen the scenes in England from when lockdown stopped being a thing. So I guess the idea is to stop quite such carnage happening here, because tomorrow, Monday, the day this video is coming out, is when the travel restrictions are lifted. So that means anyone can come for the day. From the 13th, it looks like people will be able to stay overnight, but it has to be in self-contained accommodation, so there's some restrictions there. But with the mountains being reopened today, even though you're not allowed to travel yet, we're close enough to come here, so it's a kind of a special locals only day almost. But actually they're just wet. It's been so wet the last couple of days that I think it's just a no-go, sadly. So I'm just taking a bit of footage. It's just so nice to be out in the mountains. We'll probably go somewhere else, maybe Slate. I've been on the Slate a lot lately because it's been one of the few places we could get to. Hey, so I've just abseiled down Last Tango, brilliant route, I'll chat about it in a minute. I thought I had the rope stuck for a moment, actually quite a few moments, had a bit of a faff getting them down. I think they got wedged against one of the edges, which I tried to prevent, but then I swung around a bit too much. I think I messed it up, but hey ho, got them down. I thought it was worth chatting about a couple of tactics to get the rope back should they get stuck. First off, pull as hard as you can. That sounds really obvious, a couple of wraps around your hands, pull really hard, great. Make sure you pull in on the right rope, remember to pull on blue, pull on pink, whatever it might be, so make sure you've got a memory jog for that. And if you are going to start yarding really hard, just watch out for edges. I'm on a bit of a platform here, but you could easily walk back a bit to try and pull hard, and if they then suddenly slip, it's a bit sketchy. So think about where you're stood. Can you stand further back? You stand one direction, try flicking them off edges and things like that, but think about trying to make a different angle and then trying again. But if it's not working, get yourself to where you think the best angle is and just literally clip yourself in. That works really well. So clove hitch kind of works alright because it's nice and adjustable, so you can just properly sit on it, pull it, yard it back and all that kind of stuff. Get your mate to pull as well if you want, but just clipping in, it's only so hard you can grip with your hands and for so long as well. So that works okay. The other option would be to put a prusik on. I won't bother showing that, but the advantage being that you can slide it up and down. So you pull really hard on it, you slide it back up, you pull really hard on it, you get the idea. It just means you can put max weight through it. Hopefully that'll work, but if it doesn't, what's next? Well, let's put ourselves in this situation where we've got two ropes. So literally, let's assume my knot is on an edge at the top. I've got two ropes. We know it's still through great anchors, it's 2 bolts on this one. So we're good to go on it. Now, what I'd do is I'd utilise guide mode on my belay plate. I'd load it up, same as always. Screw get into there, do them both up. And you can get so far just by literally bouncing up and down like that. It'll work, but what's quite nice is if you can kind of get a top prusik on as well. Now, you've got a choice. You might find, I'd probably do a clem heist or a French prusik. I wouldn't do a classic probably because they just get jammed a bit more. So if you're putting a clem heist on, because we don't really need it to be releasable under load, but we do want it to release easily. 45 meters Last Tango, so if I had to do all of that and it was being a bit of a pain to release, that could take forever, so make your life easy. So let's assume that's okay. Every time you go up, you kind of thumb it open, slide it, thumb it open, slide it, and you're okay. And what I do is I put a little knot in it, like that, leave that open for the moment, redirect that. We have done a video on this, but I thought it was good to do it in context, and that makes a Z shape. And then what I do with that one is that's literally just for a handle. It'd be nice if you had some sort of jamming device, but we're making do. So that gives you something to pull on. So when you've loaded it up, all you're going to do is grab that, put your feet on the wall on a hold, and push your hips in, and as you go, the guide plate locks itself off. You slide that up, go, go, go again and again and again, using your feet and thrusting your hips as much as you possibly can. What are your other options if you've only got one strand? It gets a bit exciting then, doesn't it? Could you go up on just one strand? No, because what's it jammed on? You could be halfway up and you're bouncing, 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 releases whatever it's stuck on, you're going to slide down. Too sketchy, isn't it? You might get really lucky and be on a short pitch of climbing that you've abseiled down and have enough rope to lead up on. Unlikely though, because you need a lot. Other options, if you've pulled and it's got stuck, maybe you could cut the rope and use whatever spare rope you've got down here. That might well work, mightn't it? Think about the simple options first though. Can you just walk round to the crag? Can you come back another day? Can you borrow a rope? Whatever, you know, if my rope got stuck here, you can get round to the top of the crag. It's a bit of a scramble. You might want a rope to do it, but it's a possibility. You know, it could do this, but if it was just one strand, I'm not going to do anything exciting. I'm going to go home, get another rope, lead the route again, or go around the top. There's simple options. Use those simple, safe options wherever humanly possible. I hope that was useful. Quick chat about what to do if your abseil ropes get stuck. Prevention is better than cure. Think about what they might get stuck on when you're abseiling. Get knots away from edges, so pull one rope more than the other a little bit so knots are over edges and away from any grooves. Can you hear those ravens? I think they're ravens. So yeah, prevention is absolutely better than cure with all this lot. So there you go, that was Last Tango and a bit of chat about how to you know, get your ropes back if they are a bit stuck or whatever. Just exercise caution on that front if they are properly stuck. I think it's one of those times it pays just to be super careful and do think about those easy options. I can't stress that enough. What a cool bit of rock though, isn't it? Up diagonally that way, up the arete, and then back through the mini overlap thing to the top. 45 meters, and it's just so good, honestly. I haven't climbed a lot of trad this year, so I placed quite a lot of kit. I placed, I tell you how many I placed 14 bits of kit. I won't give the game away too much, but it's slate, so a lot of it is thin bits of gear. Placed a few micros because I could, but you actually don't really need them. There's plenty of other kit on small to medium, and actually there's a couple of larger bits as well on that one. Be a bit careful on that arete with some of those blocks. They're looking a bit sketch. I think they've been looking sketch for ages, but certainly looking sketchy now. Such good thin climbing though, just enough to sort of keep you thinking. Like I say, the gear is all there. It's one that you can put some gear in, enjoy the moves, put the next bit of gear in, enjoy the moves, all that kind of thing. So I placed quite a lot of kit because I haven't been feeling super great on trad, and I'm kind of in the mindset at the moment like doubling up on bits. So it's a good thing to think about that if you are feeling a bit sort of on the nervous side because you haven't had much trad mileage because of lockdown and stuff like that. Every time you get to like a point you're placing a bit of kit, put a couple in, and then it feels like properly bomb proof, and it gives you the confidence just to go up a few more moves rather than stopping every meter to place something. Bang a couple in, go a little bit, bang a couple in. I kind of like that idea. You get a bit more flow from the climbing. The other classic of the crag there comes the dervish, and I was considering doing that, but it's Laura was getting a bit cold because she's not climbing because of the shoulder. I've done it before. It's utterly brilliant if you get the chance to do both of those together. That's a pretty cool couple of routes to do. You can do Last Tango to warm up, abseil down, have a cheeky look if you want a cheeky look at the dervish line. Dervish line is just that dead straight line going up through. Thin start. Yeah, you'll get some gear in, but it's pretty manky in terms of size, and then you get a bomber cam in after a bit, and then actually gear's really good after that, but I'm not going to spoil it any more than that. I was a little bit disappointed not to climb in the mountains today since they've been opened yesterday, but it's just such a cool bit of rock, isn't it? You can't be disappointed with something like that. Got to be flexible in climbing, haven't you, I guess. I hope that's been of interest. I hope you enjoyed the little bit of climbing stuff and the little bit of abseil stuff. Please do fire away with any questions. As always, you know, I'm happy to help as best I can. Find us on Insta, find us on Facebook, all the follows and likes and whatever, much appreciated on that. Click the like button, smash the subscribe button, that's massively appreciated as well. Next video might be coming from Devon actually, because we're going on a bit of a road trip. I hope you've enjoyed this video. More videos coming up very soon.